Hello and welcome back again to Stupid Boy UFC channel. Today, as you can see, we have a special guest, green tea like sweet tea of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So we have our own version of sweet tea, and he's called.
That's it. So today,
So this is our first video together. We are both geeks about martial arts. We like martial arts, not only in terms of we don't usually care about what kind of discipline they are from. We love every kind of martial arts, and we are going to give our review about UFC 283. Is it 82, Dhruv?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry. UFC 282. The the first fight
UFC
that
two
we are
sorry,
going to
UFC
review.
283. You're right. UFC 283.
UFC 283.
Brazil,
The first fight.
Brazil card.
The first fight that we are going to talk about is
Paul Craig versus Johnny Walker.
Paul Craig and Johnny Walker. Paul Craig, who considered retirement in early 2022, is still fighting. And I have seen his fight against Volkan Ozdemir. He was just
Hmm.
literally begging to go to ground with Volkan Ozdemir because he knows that he can't handle the heat in the hand of Volkan Ozdemir. So he was trying to do his jiu-jitsu thing. And probably he said that he would fight two times again in the UFC. So we're going to deal with it. And the other fighter is Johnny Walker. And I have something to say about the chin of Johnny Walker. It's not that good. What would you say, Drew?
Yeah,
I
I'll
just
agree
imagine
with you
the face of
regarding the
Johnny
Johnny
Walker,
Walker. Hmm?
the face of Johnny Walker when Jamahal Hill punched him.
He saluted him just before no, falling down.
Yes,
That
yes.
was, I think, that was the meme people were saying, like people
Yes.
were sharing. So yeah. So in case of Paul Craig, I did not know that he was thinking of retirement. I thought he could be the future contender. But yeah, so his last fight against Volkan Ozdemir, yeah, was so strange. Like every time he got dropped down, he just never like wanted to stand up and do like a bit of striking with him. And after some point of time, it just became like very
Boring.
boring with fight. I know the crowd were booing and all. I so at least in this fight, I want him to at least strike a bit, at least have some other game plan than making the other fighter just come to him to the ground and then submitting him using his jiu-jitsu. So at least I want him to like do some striking. And in case of Johnny Walker, yeah, this guy has a lot of few setbacks. I think after it's a shoulder injury that he had when he was trying to celebrate. So I think after that,
Yes, yes.
I think he has not
Trying to do the
recovered
worm celebration.
properly. Yeah, he has not recovered fully, but I think he's trying to now slowly gain his confidence. I think he has joined what do you say? I think what do you say? Conor McGregor's camp.
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, SBG,
Yes,
SBG.
yes, yes. What's the full form of it? Do
What
you
was
remember?
it? Straight, something like that.
Yeah, let me see. Yeah, SBG Ireland,
Yes, SBG Ireland. So he was
Ireland.
like he has one of the craziest kickboxing styles because he's very rangy, 6 feet 6 inches, literally. Very rangy, very powerful in punches. But you know what? Some people know how to take a punch, and some people don't, and you can't teach that. And Johnny Walker is not the person who is going to take punches, you know. So I think like and it's a very smart matchmaking, like because I don't think Paul Craig is going to punch him you know and Johnny Walker in his last fight against that Moldovan guy. What was his name?
Yeah, let me. Yeah, it's called Onan Qtulba.
Ion Cutelaba.
Not
Ion
Qtulba.
Cutelaba.
Qtulaba.
Yes. He was like very aggressive in that fight and got submitted because of crazy ground game by Johnny Walker. And let's go. So, Dhruv, who do you think is going to win this fight? This fight between uh jiu-jitsu guy and the other one is a good boxer, a good kickboxer with a weak chin. Who's going to win?
I'll predict that Paul Craig will win because I want him to like actually fight for the title one day. I like him more. Johnny Walker, I think, is good, but I don't think so he's good enough to beat Paul Craig. And if he, even though his ground game is becoming better, but I think if the fight comes to the ground, which it probably will some point or the other, I think Paul Craig will will actually submit him probably. That's my prediction.
Okay, so I would say that Paul Craig has good ground game, but Paul Craig doesn't have the X factor to defeat someone like Johnny Walker because Paul Craig cannot put you in another dimension because literally he punches like a spastic. I can't say that he's going to knock out Johnny Walker as same as some of the other people did. And I think I have seen enough grappling from Johnny Walker in the Ion Kutlaba fight, so I would say that Johnny Walker is going to win. That's my prediction. Okay, so Dhruv, I mean, like, uh, it's our first prediction, and we have predicted two different people.
That's actually better because you need people from both sides, no?
Yes, yes, yes. So that if someone bets on basis on our prediction, you and me, they can't say that you predicted the fight wrong. I have lost money.
Lost money. Correct. Correct.
So
Hey, by the way, people, I think there is a famous now people cannot bet on UFC fights in certain regions in US and Canada.
I am not sure about it. You
Yeah,
might
yeah,
be sure about it.
they are banned because of that betting scandal investigation.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I mean, like, I mean, it's good way to make money for people who understand fights, but if there's a scandal, like, they must get it. There must be some kind of investigation into it because that can be a very problematic thing for UFC in the future.
No, that's why UFC is taking it seriously. That's why they have literally like till now till the investigation does not settle. I think any fighter who's fighting who's coaching under Kraus, James Kraus, they
James
cannot
Cross.
fight in UFC.
Yeah, but Brandon Moreno is fighting.
No, he's not in his camp
Yeah, he
now.
moved camp, but he was.
Yeah, he did his interim title fight camp there, but he had already moved on to some other camp. I think even at the starting of, I mean, like he had no plans. I think it was just a one-time thing.
Yes, yes. Okay, green tea. So now we are going to talk about the next fight on the card: Neil Magny versus Gilbert Burns. And let me just first tell you that I'm a big fan of Gilbert Burns. Not, not since the fight with Hamza Chimaev, like everyone else. I am a big fan of Gilbert Burns, like when he used to train together with Kamaru Usman, because I think he has one of those crazy styles where he can punch you and he can also do proper. When he knocked out Demian Maia, I have stopped doubting him because I thought that he will lose. He's a great Brazilian jiu-jitsu expert, but I thought that he would lose against Demian Maia, but he won. So that's the reason why I am done doubting Gilbert Burns. And Neil Magny, I still doubt because I don't think like he's on the level of Gilbert Burns. He has good grappling style, but I don't want to give a prediction on this fight right now because we will save that for later. Okay, so Dhruv, what are your opinions on this fight?
I don't know much about Neil Magny. I do know he's a veteran of this game. In
He's a
case of
veteran.
Gilbert Burns, I was never a fan before that until I watched his fight against Kamzat. Now I'm like actually want to see him like see his fight. Now, I actually thought after that match with Kamzat, I think they might give him a bigger opportunity like Masvidal or some other, or maybe Kobe. But
Yes, yes.
okay, he's got Neil Magny. So yeah, so in this case, I just know about Gilbert Burns. He's actually the like good striker, and then obviously he's pretty good in jiu-jitsu. But I don't know in case of Neil Magny. So what is Neil Magny expert in? Like, do you know?
Neil Magny is a great, like he has one of the craziest reach advantages in every fight. He
Hmm.
has kind of retarded IQ because he doesn't use his reach. He had that fight, I remember, still against Shaukat Rakhmanov. I mean, like, he is one of the best. But in that fight, I have seen some things that made me think, like, why he's doing that? Because he's not trying to, he's not he's not trying to use his range on people. He's very, very rangy. He once a while I thought that I remember he was called Neil Hella Long Boy, like, because he was very long. Even he's 6 feet 3, he is like, he has very, I mean, I don't remember the exact reach of Neil Magny, but he never uses his reach. That's the thing that I
Wow.
never
His
liked about him.
reach is around 80 inch or 203 centimeters.
Yes, I mean, like, that's
Wow.
big.
6 feet 3, yeah.
So
Wow. I
that,
think he's the tallest. I think in case of welterweight, he's the tallest.
yes, yes, apart from, I think like Kevin Holland is also like 6 feet 3, so I think he's the tallest.
Wow. Wow. So,
So what's
like,
are your
yes,
predictions?
I like Gilbert Burns, so I'll go ahead with Gilbert Burns.
So I'm also going with Gilbert Burns. So if he, so let's just make a rule. I just thought of a rule, and now I'm making rule for this podcast forever. So if we agree that the same fighter is going to win the fight, we have to be different, in some aspect. So I am making a rule now because this is my channel. So green
Mhm.
tea. If we both agree who's going to win, you have to tell by which way he's going to win, in which round he's going to win, so that we can be different. If
I
that's
think.
the same too, we have to
Mhm.
predict the exact minute. If that's the same too, we have to predict the exact second for the sake of conversation.
Sure, sure. So in case of winning, I think Gilbert Burns will win in case of probably knockout or submission. I think in the second or third round, because Neil Magny is durable, what I know. So probably he will. It is not like first round he will win. Probably second or third, KO or submission.
I think the Neil Magny will crumble under Gilbert Burns' pressure in the first round itself. And I think I will predict that he's going to get knocked out by a left hook of Gilbert Burns. That's a very crazy thing, like, because Gilbert Burns has a shorter reach. I mean, like, way more shorter reach than Neil Magny. But I would predict Gilbert Burns is going to straight up, do the left hook thing, and he's going to win in round one in third minute.
Okay, sounds good. Now you
I
can.
would look fool. I would look like a fool if that doesn't happen, because I've just predicted the third minute of the first round. What the hell?
That's okay.
Okay, so
One day you will be called as Mystique Mac.
yes, one day I will call. I am called Mystic Mac because I predict these things. Moving on to the next fight, the next quadratic equation. No, quadrology. What should I say, Dhruv? Sweet. Oh my goodness. Green tea. What should I say?
Contrology.
Quadrology. What the hell? I was straight up doing I was straight up, like, it's a quadratic equation. Okay,
Moving on to
quad.
the next quadratic equation.
Yeah, yes, I remember the quadratic formula too. I learned it, like, probably in class 10 it is.
Yeah, we had it in college also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Because I mean, like, because you were a maths student.
Maths, yeah, maths and all. No?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Trying to boast about your knowledge, maths student. So I would say that, because I mean, like, we can explain why this quadrology is being scheduled, because the first fight was a draw. The second fight, Brandon Moreno won. The third fight, Figueiredo won. And all of them fight were close, except the second one. I would say second one was pretty convincing win. And actually, people were angry at Moreno because he's getting more chances than the other fighter in the flyweight division. But I think, like, he got his chances on the back of an amazing win against a very, very dangerous striker like Kai Kara France. So I think, and that knockout was really crazy because the liver kick. I've heard about liver punch in boxing, but he literally won the fight against Kai Kara France by liver kick. So that's why I think, it's a well deserved fight. And Davison Figueiredo, on the other hand, I think, like, if he punches well, I mean, I've seen him punching Brandon Moreno multiple times, but Brandon Moreno doesn't fall. He's one of those fighters who's never going to quit. So this fight is going to be very interesting. What are your views? Green tea.
Yeah, yeah. So this one, what do you say? I think he should be given, Brandon Moreno should be given a chance, because if you notice, the UFC almost wanted to shut down the flyweight, and then only like what do you say, fights like what we saw versus Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. Their fight was the one who actually saved the flyweight. So
Yes, yes.
like, so I can understand why they are giving Moreno a chance. At least I feel bad for guys like Pantoja or even
Yes.
what's the other, Brandon Raval, those people.
Brandon
But
Roy.
they have to
I
understand
think they released that Russian person, Askarov.
oh, they have released him
I think he released because of some,
for medical reasons.
yeah, for medical reason. Probably he retired or probably they released him. I don't know. But he was one hell of a good fighter.
Yeah, I was impressed by Kai Kara France because of that fight. Because
Yes.
I think he was his Kai Kara France was his first loss. Before
Yes,
that, he
yes.
had a draw, but that was his
Against
first
Brandon
loss.
Moreno.
Even against like against
Pantoja.
yeah, Taito Vasa.
Yeah.
So that's why not Taito Vasa. Okay, what's his name?
Pantoja.
What's that New Zealander guy? Kai Kara France.
Kaikara
Kai Kara
France. Kaikara France.
France. Taito
Literally,
Vasa.
you just said Titus. I was like, when did he fight the heavyweight?
Yeah.
I'm coming here
Yes,
to bang, bruh.
If there are two of the flyweights, then he can fight
Yes,
him.
yes, yes. Two of the players, I think, like, they can fight with his stomach alone. I mean, like, he's the whole abdomen area because that's like 125 pounds itself.
Exactly. You can use it as a punching bag. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Oh my
So
goodness.
coming back to this thing, so I was pretty impressed by Kai Kara France that time, and so defeating Kai Kara France for the interim belt is actually pretty impressive for Brandon Moreno. And to be honest, like I think if it was it was any other like for fourth fight, I would have did not have the appetite to watch it. But since it's between Figueiredo versus Moreno, I think that's the only one I'm like, okay, I'll watch the fourth fight. And in this case, I think that Moreno is the future, and I think he will be able to defeat Figueiredo, and he's able to take proper punches. The only thing is that he should able to stick to his game plan. Moreno, if he's able to stick to his game plan, which I didn't notice it last time, that's where the Figueiredo got some edge and he was able to win. So if he's able to stick to his game plan, I think Brandon Moreno should be the and the new, I mean not new and just and the second champion, I mean, second two-time champion in
Two-time
this
champion and one-time interim champion.
one-time interim champ. Yes, yes, yeah. What about
Now,
you? What's your prediction?
Figueiredo by first round knockout.
Figueiredo by first round knockout. Okay.
No, no, I'm not just saying because we both have to pick different fighters. I'm just saying because I think Figueiredo can knock out every other person other than Brandon Moreno with his brute power. But now I think like he knows he has the number of Brandon Moreno. He's going to defeat Brandon Moreno. I think he's going to knock out.
Which camp is he with Henry Cejudo?
Yes, yes. So Brandon Moreno cannot use his, like wrestling skills against him now. So I think like because he won the second fight dominantly because of the wrestling skills. So I don't think he's going to win this fight with his wrestling skills. I think Figueredo all the way with his punching power. Not a flyweight on the fight day. He's literally a featherweight on the fight day. It's so big, man. So I think like he's going to knock out Brandon Moreno this time around. Moving on to the last fight and the main event on the fight card, the surprising main event because we didn't know this fight was on this fight card. Literally, did you had any idea, Dhruv, that we are going to see two different men fighting for the World Light Heavyweight Championship? Glover Texeira versus Jamahal Hill.
I again, like I said in the before Dana White announced it in like after UFC 282 post fight post press conference, I had no clue that they are thinking. I think they just wanted a way to capitalize the Brazil, like capitalize and get a
Brazil.
better fight for the Brazil card. And I think and they were not happy with the whatever fights they had for Brazil card, so this was their way to pump up the Brazil card. So I can understand. And UFC, I think, were not happy with the fight with Jan versus Ankalaev, and I think they didn't want, rather than rematch, they just gave that chance to Glover and Jamal Hill. I was feeling bad in this whole situation. I was feeling bad for Anthony Smith because Jamal Hill was supposed to fight Anthony Smith, I think in March, and then okay, now he got the chance to fight for the title. I feel good, happy for Glover because he stuck to his guns. He had a chance to fight against Ankalaev in UFC 282, but then he said that he's a different opponent and he needs
Yes,
more
he's a
time.
southpaw.
Yeah, yeah, different opponent and he needed more time. So he did request UFC to directly move it to Brazil card and he'll fight. Uh, what do you say? He will fight Ankalaev. But then now this is actually the best matchup Glover can get. This guy has little less experience than like Jamal has experience than all his other opponents like Jan or Ankalaev, and this was the best option he could have. And this is happening in his neighborhood, like the place that he wants in Brazil. So like yes, I feel happy for Glover. So yeah, but before that I had no clue that this fight is going to happen.
One of the things that I really wanted to talk about is that the way they screwed that fight with Jan Blachowicz and Magomed Ankalaev. I think like Magomed Ankalaev won. That's my decision. But that fight was close. I can understand that decision. But the cumulative effect of the earlier fight, Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon, I was like, this is like literally fixed thing. I don't want to ever watch this sport because this looks like really fixed. So I was like very much uh, aware that this fight was close. After I was over with my hangover of the two really bad results, and then I was like, no, no, actually this fight was close. This fight can even go to, Jan Blachowicz. So it's okay. Like the draw was okay, but for them not to give another shot to Magomed Ankalaev is very crazy because I thought that that would be very good if Magomed Ankalaev got another chance. Literally just said, I don't know whether that was lost in translation. Magomed Ankalaev literally said that he's not going to fight in that organization. He was saying that he's not going to fight in the place the fight were happening because he thought that the judges were not good enough. So but he didn't say that he wasn't going to fight in UFC. So he must. And one more thing is like they wanted to make a rematch of because they didn't had a. This fight card looks weak, not too strong.
Brazil card,
Like
yeah.
some fights are really good. Yeah. So it's like they thought that the Brazil card we would put the rematch of Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev. But Charles Oliveira refused. No, I'm not ready yet. We can't fight like that because I got dropped. So I don't think like they just made a fight where they could earn some money. And Glover Teixeira is famous actually in Brazil because he has a crazy comeback story. You know, he was not allowed to fight in the UFC for some years. Then he lost to John Jones, and then had to wait I mean, like for so long to fight again. And that's the thing. I really want Glover Teixeira to win. So as my prediction goes, I want Glover Teixeira is going to win, but he's going to lose. He's going to get knocked out because I really like the fighting style of Jamahal Hill. He is a great young person, and I like young blood. I think he's going to win. As I have my condolences to the old Glover Teixeira. I want him to win, but he's going to lose.
But so the crazy story of Glover Teixeira is, so when he was 19, he came to US. Came to US. His visa expired, but he stayed. and then
Yes.
he used to train with Chuck Liddell, and
Yes.
I think he even got a chance to be in the Ultimate Fighter 1. Yeah, I think it was
Yes.
in
Yes.
2004, 2005. But the problem
Yes.
is he didn't have the right papers.
Visa.
So I
Visa.
think that
Visa.
time Dana White said if you take care of the papers, we will allow you to fight in UFC. So he went back to Brazil, and then only and since he was married to American, I think that's why I think they applied for green card. But I think after 7 or 8 years, his green card got accepted. So then after that he came back to US, and then yeah, started fighting for UFC. I think 2012 he came back to US, and then actually got when he got his green card, and then started fighting for UFC, and then he fought John Jones, I think 2016 or something. Yeah,
Yes.
and then he had couple of I think he lost couple of his fights after that, and I think people thought that it's over for him, but then he came
Especially
back.
after the loss with Alexander
Cons-
Gustafsson.
Consistent. Yes, yes, that's where they're thinking he's done, but then he came back, and then back to back he won against what Thiago Santos,
Yes, Thiago
Thiago
Dos
Santos,
Santos, and also
Anthony
I guess
Smith.
Anthony Smith. Yes.
Yeah, Anthony Smith, and then Jan Blachowicz he won. So yeah, that's definitely like a comeback story. And in case of the prediction, I think Glover Teixeira has enough experience. I doubted him against Jan. I doubted him against Thiago Santos also that time, but then he proved me wrong. So now I am with Glover. I think he has enough experience. I don't know whether he is going to able to knock him out or submit, but I think he will at least win by decision, and he will probably call out Giri Prohashka
Yes. Yes.
in the post fight if he come back okay, but then if it takes longer time for Giri, I think it will be like a reverse karma for UFC that Glover
Yes.
Teixeira one wins and then vacates his title.
Yes. 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 So we just agreed on one fight, and we disagreed on all the fights, and
That's
uh,
good.
and that's what that's why it's better to have a conversation with someone, because I have been predicting most of the fights, right, as you have seen, but some of the fights recently I got quite wrong, and probably because I got emotional. I was like, I wanted Charles Oliveira to win, so it would be good. It would be a good thing. Like, I will be looking for how correct is Stupid Boy or how correct is Green Tea.